Hello everybody, happy week 7. This is the video for the action potential and the phases that it goes through, the local, resting, and action potential. So let's get into it. Here's my diagram. My top diagram is showing the resting potential where both gates are closed and the ions outside of the membrane are positive and inside the membrane they are negative. And I did indicate that, showing those little negative marks in the phospholipid bilayer. During the resting potential, the membrane is in a state where the neuron is capable and ready to send a signal down its length. And here the membrane is polarized because the charge is negative, which we learned in our lecture. Moving on then to the local potential, you can see that the sodium channel has now opened. So the sodium ions are flooding in to the same area where the potassium ions are due to the chemical stimulus, which you can see by the yellow lightning bolt on the sodium gate. Also, during local potential, the value of the membrane starts to increase, so it goes up to -55 right before it goes through the rapid depolarization phase. Also, local potentials are graded, which means they vary in magnitude. They're decremental, which means that the current weakens as it travels further from the site of stimulation, and they are reversible. So if the stimulation were to stop, the membrane would be able to return to resting potential. After that, we have the action potential. So you can see that the sodium gate has now shut and the potassium gate has now opened to try and relieve all of that pressure. So the potassium ions follow where the arrows are and they're flooding out to the other side of the membrane. Also, we see the value of the membrane here shoot all the way up to +35, which is when it goes through that rapid depolarization phase, as I mentioned before. And once all of the potassium ions completely disperse, then you are able to, then the membrane is able to repolarize, so it falls back down into its negative charge and it is able to go back to its resting potential phase like we see on the top. Next, I did make sure to include the graph of the action potential that we saw in our lecture, which was also included in our textbook. So you can see here, I did color code it. So the resting phase is that yellow part of the line at the bottom at the -70 mark. And then as it goes up, that pink line represents local potential, and then that blue line shooting all the way up is action potential. And then after action potential, when all of those potassium ions disperse, you can see it dropping back down, going under that line, and then going back to resting potential. So that is all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you have a great week, and I look forward to watching all of your videos.